Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurt. My phone number is 864-236-1680, or you can email me at dyslexicgeniushurt@gmail.com. A question came up to us, noise in a Victor motor. So let me discuss that. You usually get a noise from the governor drive gear and the governor shaft. Sometimes you get it from the spindle shaft in this gear. This is how I got the machine, and you can see that there's no grease here. After you've totally rebuilt the motor and you put everything together, you've greased it up and you run it, and you're hearing a tick, 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 or swirling problem. You've oiled everything. You're going to have to lap in usually this gear and this gear on the governor shaft. I use flits. You can use toothpaste, you can use brass soap, whatever you have on hand. But after you lap it in, you wind the motor up and run it, and I have a video on this. It shows you how to do that. Also,
after you've done it,
after you've lapped the gears in, you need to pull the whole motor apart, clean off all the compound, put everything back together, grease everything back together, and run it, and see if you have that sound gone. You might have to repeat that. But I do have a video on gear lapping. The other problem is, sometimes you'll see here where my finger is, we have these grind marks on the spindle shaft, which is caused from non-oiling, which is happening in here on the spindle shaft. What you need to do is buy a flex hone. I use a flex hone, fine grit flex hone, and you're going to have to, I have a video on that, you have to flex hone that out. I also, when I do a rebuild, like I can feel this here, I take 600 grit sandpaper, you chuck it in a drill, and you just wrap it around it. You take it like this, you wrap this around, hold it with your index finger and your thumb. Watch out for the little pin in the spindle shaft. Right here, you don't want to hit that when it's running. Once you polish this out and this out, you do the same thing to the end of the bearings for the governors. You do the same thing. We do the same thing for the shaft that's running through here, because you can't oil dead inside because they run through this stuff. I polish all that out on a rebuild. This makes them run a lot smoother. I'm trying to point out some things, tips on this. The other problem from noise is, these are the felts that mount underneath here, which mount to the motor board. So you set the motor board on side, put your screw through, you put the washer on. The felts are terrible. And this machine's been apart, and you can see the 3 different sizes I pulled out. I use this, which is a natural rubber gas material, and you want it squishy. You can use an old bicycle tube, inner tube, a thick old car tire tube. Go by a tire shop, say, hey, you guys got an old tube I can have for free, and just cut it up, stack it up to about 1/16 of an inch. It doesn't matter how big it is. You want to keep them small, but you can just trim them out with scissors, punch a hole in it, and stick it on. That's it. And that helps quiet the motor down too. I will show you how I do this on this rebuild of this Victor motor. This is a lot of fun, and that's my tip for the day.